Hello friends! Today I would like to talk about repertoire for students, for piano repertoire. Uh, so there are so many pieces and so many different composers who composed for children, and so many method books are available in this country and other countries as well. So I just would like to share my tactic when I see a student and I understand what is the level of playing they have, and what's their age, and what's their character. Are they introvert or extrovert? Basically everything I can notice in their behavior and how they speak to me and how they move and what's their attention span. Everything you can understand from a student, a new student. And if a student is very young beginner, like 5 years old or 6 years old, I most likely would start with a method book. This one, called My First Piano Adventure for the Young Beginner by Nancy and Randall Faber. I'm sure many of piano teachers know this book and use this book. This book has many levels, though I prefer only a few of the books. So this book has levels A, B, and C, and it also has performance book, it has a theory book or writing book. So I usually use only lesson book and usually book A. With some children I would use maybe book C, or if I see that they need to go through book B, I would do that. Why I like this book of this method? Because it has a very nice CD or audio, which is performed very nicely with voices of children and as well as adults, and very nicely arranged. So the book comes with a CD, which is right here, and also there is audio version available online. So I use this audio version, and it's free to find it on the internet, and I like to use it with some of my young beginners. Also, sometimes you will meet kind of slow student or student who really, how to put it into words, not very serious. So then this method is very good for them. For more serious students, for more students who likes to think, who likes to explore, who likes to learn, and who learns faster than the others, I would use Bastien Piano Basics, primer level. Again, this is just only for very beginners. And this book actually, this method book actually goes pretty fast. It teaches pretty fast the notes, so you can read simple chords, triads, and simple melody, still in C major, but still you will read, you will already read the stuff. In this book, no, you don't read by the end of this book. You have to go level C, level B and level C. Level C is where you will start to read the actual stuff. So once my student or students done with this method book, I would go to just real pieces written by prominent composers. Sometimes I also would go with some students would use such as the series written by Catherine Rollin. This is really good for young beginners, but they already have to read the stuff, so that's how it look like. And she also has this book which I like, which has 3 books, book 1, book 2, book 3, and also she has Museum Masterpieces, which is fabulous, I think, because she incorporates pieces of art into the music. So 2 arts are combined. So you can see the art, the picture explaining you who was Van Gogh and what is this about, and then she writes a piece which she entitles the same. So for example, Vincent van Gogh self-portrait. So here it is. So, but these are not for the beginners. These are more for intermediate students. So after my students learn how to read the music, I would give them sometimes some of the pieces from some of Russian method books, such as Getalova in the music with happiness, which the cover looks like this. And they move pretty fast, and they move to other tonalities other than C major. Also, Nikolaev School of Piano Player. This is very old book from the 20th century. Some of the pieces I would consider to give to my students as well. And also, I give my students some pieces from First Meeting with the Music by Artobolevskaya, which is also very good book, but it's more like for intermediate students. And after I see that my students know the music literacy very well or pretty well, I start to give them, as I said, pieces by good composers, prominent composers such as Johann Sebastian Bach, something like that. First lessons in Bach, which contains pieces, well-known pieces like minuets and gavots from notebook of his wife Anna Magdalena Bach. Also musets, bures, and later I would proceed with some of the preludes, though not fugues, from his short preludes and fugues. And then finally we will get to 2-part, and with some students to 3-part inventions. So this is more for late intermediate, early advanced, and advanced students. I also would find a collection of good piano literature like this one, like Piano Literature Book 3 from Original Keyboard Classics, which is intermediate level, by Nancy and Randall Faber. So these could be good collection. You can find good pieces by composers such as Schubert, Burgmüller, Clementi, and others. And while my students are still young beginners, I like these two books of duets to play with them. These are also arranged by Faber. It's called PreTime Piano Classics. These are duets of famous classic pieces, piano pieces, not only piano pieces, also orchestral pieces, such as Grieg Morning from Peer Gynt, or Brahms theme from his symphony, or Mozart theme from his symphony. These are very useful and very fun and quite sight readable. Look like this. And these are more complicated. These are the same from classic series by Faber. These are a little more complicated, but still like late beginners, early intermediate, or intermediate. So these are lovely. I like how they are arranged so that young beginners can play. And as I said, later I would go to something like Sonatinas or Sonatas by Kulau and Clementi, and then later Haydn, Mozart. And I also like many pieces from Tchaikovsky's album for the young. They are not very easy, but still children can play them. It's more like intermediate or late intermediate level. As well as I incorporate some pieces from album for the young by Schumann. Now, for the etudes, I like to use Etudes by Burgmüller, opus, it says 25 etudes from opus 100. He has many opuses of etudes, and 105 is beautiful, but it's more complicated. This really starts very easy, so it's basically for intermediate beginners, late beginners, early, mid, intermediate students. And then also Czerny opus 599, it's quite easy etudes. And later I would go to opus 299, and with my more serious students and more advanced students, I would go to opus 740. These are difficult pieces. And then later, or at the same time, I could assign etude from 15 virtuosic etudes by Moszkowski. Well, there are so many etudes written by many composers you can give to your students. But etudes are important to play as many etudes as possible, important to start, before you start to give etudes like by Chopin or by Rachmaninoff. And that's basically my strategy with my students. I hope you found it useful, and maybe you find some tips you would incorporate into your teaching in your studio. Thanks for watching, and let me know if you have any questions in comments below. Have a very good day. Bye.